Hello everybody and welcome back here to Hong Kong Football Club in the heart of the city for this second day of leg one of the Asian Sevens Series, Asia Rugby Sevens Series, kicking things off today with the women's side of the draw, straight in there to the plate semi-final match between Singapore and Uzbekistan. 16 matches ahead of us today. Had some great action yesterday. On the field they come now, the gallant Singaporeans. They'll be up against the 8 players of Uzbekistan. Very hard playing sevens at the best of time when you've got one on the bench. Doesn't make things easier. Yesterday, Singapore going down 45-0 to Japan, then going down just 7-0 to Singapore, a much improved effort, and then beating Guam 29-7. Uzbekistan having a tough old day themselves. 59-0 they lost to China. Before then going down 44-0 to Thailand and 39-0 to Uzbekistan. They'll be hoping to get their first score of the day. I'd like to welcome in my co-commentator Jed Thine. Good morning, Jed.
Morning, Grant. Good morning, viewers right across Asia and, of course, in New Zealand.
Away we go. The long kick to Chan Jiayu. She was good yesterday. Very aggressive. These Koreans, Singaporeans enjoying their victory yesterday against Guam. And it's an early break now from Lai Poisan, and she's heading towards the posts. After her is Sirazeva going in at the corner though, and that's a good opening try with just 21 seconds on the clock. And they look fired up to Singapore.
Well, Uzbekistan probably guilty of not taking the coffee early this morning. Singapore certainly on the ball, just ghosted away from the defenders, and not enough shown by Uzbekistan, not enough shape or authority. Trotting one in from, well, I guess you could say 70 metres out. That's a good effort early on.
Samantha Lee with her first try of the tournament. Took them a while to get going yesterday. Took the third game before they scored any tries. Then they locked up 5 against Guam. Kick's got good line, but it's a tad short. So 5-0, and we're underway here. We'll be hoping the rain stays away today. We had some torrential downpours yesterday. Yesterday started hot and sticky and sweaty and moist and damp, and nobody was enjoying that, especially Uzbekistan, kicking off the day with a 59-0 drubbing in the heat. And the rain came and cooled it down. For now, everything looks good. No breeze to speak of. We're underway again. Singapore deep down to the 22. Uzbekistan have lacked shape all day yesterday, and part-timers with just one player on the bench have really struggled. Not releasing there. Singapore hot on attack again, and straight away try number 2, Alvinia Al-Yong. Scored a couple yesterday as well, so 10 points up quickly.
Singapore doing the right thing, really, keeping it straight, taking it straight to the Uzbekistanis, keeping the pressure on. Uzbekistan just without the ability to organise themselves at the moment. You say they've only got the 8 players, so extra 2 points does make things tough.
Conversion's over, and I know our good friend in Singapore, Inoki Afiaki, he'll be watching. I'm sure will be friends and family and supporters of the Singaporeans, and hopefully Uzbekistanis. Hello, Knox. Sad that you couldn't make it. Let's hope for some good results for the Singaporeans today. For your sake, off we go again. All teams struggling with restarts yesterday, and some of it was due to the conditions, but a lot of it was just due to lack of preparation and focus, you'd say. Some teams just muffing restart after restart. That's much better from Uzbekistan, and They'll want to enjoy a little ball in hand today. They didn't get much opportunity yesterday. Still looking for their first score. And that's a unsympathetic pass down at the feet of Chan. So it'll be a first scrum of the game. Uzbekistan feed. On the tight head side, Annabelle Wu, she was dynamite yesterday for Singapore, although Uzbekistan getting the shove on there and bossing Singapore at that scrum, so good signs for Uzbekistan. See if they can do something constructive with the ball now in hand. Knock on there, but another penalty for Uzbekistan. Those players are all offside by the looks. Allowed to play on. They make it into the Singaporean half for the first time. If they can control it for a couple of phases, I don't think anyone would begrudge them a try. Skills have let them down though at times. And now just marching it forward. See the breakdown technique was superior there for Singapore. And yet another penalty for Uzbekistan. See the passion there. They want to do well. That's a good run now over the 10-metre mark. Utapieva goes in and fishes it out. Singapore working hard at the breakdown, and that's good counter rucking from Annabelle Wu. She's won the ball for her team, and now can Chan open the legs up. Great looping round from Alvina Yao Yong, and she's off for her second try by the looks. Coming across is Genja Muratova. She's not going to stop her. Narrows the angle a little bit. And from some good counter rucking, Singapore goes 60 metres.
Well, third try and a half for Singapore. Simple wrap round. They've stretched them too wide. Actually had acres to work with on the outside. Singapore well organised, good skills, getting that ball into space. They've certainly got the pace on Uzbekistan at the moment.
Kick is away. So the score remains 17-0. Less than a minute remaining in this first half. Uzbekistan looking a little bit more constructive with ball in hand, but just not securing it at the breakdown. This time it's Christabel Lim who gets us underway. Down nice and deep once again, and nicely handled by the Uzbekis this time. Chan gets up and gets a finger on, and now there might be a bit of space for Uzbekistan. Someone's got to straighten up, maybe a bit of an angle back. This is Genja Muratova. Has she got the wheels? Oh, and she's muffed it. Looked like she was going to go under the post. She got all excited and can't throw it straight at the player, even if she is in the channel. Very cheeky play there. Sun's poking through the clouds right now. Hood has gone, a final act of this first half. Singapore happy just to nudge that over the try line and take a water break. 17 points to 0. Good first half from Singapore.
Good half from Singapore, pretty accurate. Very few errors, and they've been able to create the pressure on top of Uzbekistan. Showing some good skills. Certainly impressive with Singaporean number 7. Shows a complete range as we go through the opening try of the first half. And just simply lacks defence from Uzbekistan. Singapore pouncing. It was a good way to get your second win. 2 minutes into the game, 70 metres out, sprinting one in. That's the third try of the half for Singapore. And again, just able to load up, find the space on the commentary side of the field. 17-0 at half time.
There's Wang Xiaoying, or Wing. The coach, she was in attendance at Rio, the Olympics, as a judiciary officer. Great experience. And there's a few other people at Rio today appearing. Mainly the Japanese women's team. None of the Japanese men were at the Olympics. Brought themselves a very young, youthful team of university players and paid the price, really, getting knocked out of the Cup semi-finals, going down to China and Korea. But looking to my right, the Japanese supporters are back, and that's good to see, because I'm getting the thumbs up from the Japanese. He's on the beverages already. Nice one. There's still the woman who looked very good yesterday. So second half about to get underway. It's a good restart from Lim, and lack of cohesiveness from Uzbekistan. Someone's got to take it forward, which I'll try to do now. Eunice Chu with good line speed there, coming right up and snuffing that out. Up to the halfway now through Abdul Karimova, and the superior breakdown work again, benefiting the Singaporeans. That's Wu. Chan, good hands, good pass, out wide to Lai, and Lai's pinning areas back. She realised she's not going to make it, cuts back in, and good balance from the diminutive winger, and fourth try for Singapore.
Well, super turnover by Singapore, and they managed to move the ball wide, and just a great bit of running here. Took her all the way to the line, wrong-footed her, and then backed herself to get there and made it. So Singapore just showing, well drilled, and certainly got the time and space to play heads-up rugby at the moment, as the shot drifts wide for conversion. And Singapore leading Uzbekistan 22-0.
Another tidy restart from Lim down the throat of Abdul Karimova. She turns around, straightens it, brings it back at the Singaporean defence. A little bobble, goes backwards. And lots of hurrying from the Singaporean defence, harrying the Uzbekis into mistakes. And they're throwing out 50-50 after 50-50, and eventually it breaks down. Partly due to high-risk stuff from Uzbekistan, and partly due to just good hustling defence from Singapore. So they'll get a scrum feed just about 6-7 metres out.
Well, it is good harassing defence from Singapore. They're just keeping the pressure on by keeping their shape and moving up. They're not rushing up, they're just holding a good line. And Uzbekistan, all they can do when they look up is they just see red jerseys coming straight down the tube at them. So it's not going right in sevens, it doesn't go right at any point, and good attacking scrum for Singapore.
Couldn't control it in the middle of the field, so a relieving scrum for Uzbekistan now. Saw them kick it once or twice from a position like this yesterday, straight down the throat of the sweeper. There's no sweeper right now, but not sure if they've got any accomplished kickers in their toolbox. And now, here we go, they do decide to have a boot, and dropping back was Chong. She read that well, thought it might be coming. She ended yesterday with a couple of nice tries against Guam. Uzbekis now get to test out their defensive structures once more as Singapore try to build something from about 30 metres out. And again a knock on, an unforced error really. So we'll have another scrum on the 22 in front of the posts.
Well, maybe Singapore just could be accused of having some hungry eyes there. I think everyone's potentially thinking they might dot down if they catch the ball, so just letting their minds drift off the job. A couple of errors in the second half for Singapore. Something for them just to stay aware of. Stay disciplined, stay sharp, keep the game clean, keep the performance tight.
Chong with the tackle. Uzbekistan inching their way downfield with a couple of penalties. Bit of space now if they can get the ball wide. The wrap around. This is Abdul Karimova up to the halfway nearly. And they're just struggling to get their own ball back at the breakdown. Technique is inferior to that of the Singaporeans, and they eventually give up possession. They don't have the luxury of 5 on the bench. Just over a minute remaining now. Slowed down a bit the second half after 3 good tries in the first half. Here's Chan. Gets the fend going. Biffs it into the chest of Ong. Goes backwards. Tidied up by Samantha Teo. Uzbekistan defence is a bit out of shape at the moment, and a good kick through there, good vision. Here comes Ao Yong, and that's a beautifully weighted kick, and Ao Yong just has to flop on it, which she does, and that's a good mixing up of skills there from Singapore. Good vision.
Well, terrific stuff. They got direct, they pulled in the defenders, and then a very clever option. Saw the space to the right and behind. Terrific skill to weight one in there from 40 metres out. It was perfectly weighted. Well constructed try by Singapore, and the conversion attempt not quite on the mark, but certainly their ability to identify the space. A real advantage for Singapore at the moment over Uzbekistan. Just in that contact area, Uzbekistan made the mistake of crowding the contact area, leaving themselves short on the blind side.
Time just about up as Singapore get us underway now. 5 tries in the bank. Uzbekistan still searching for that first try of their tournament, of their campaign. As Anna Pavlova takes it forward, but she's too upright and she gets rumbled, but not rolling away, says referee. And is that a kick for touch, or is that a kick for the winger? It could be both, could be either, but eventually it results in a touch finder. So out of the blocks quickly are Singapore. A good 5-try effort, bolstered by that late win yesterday against Guam. Shown a bit more class and Uzbekistan, well, they're still looking for that first elusive try in this campaign. Singapore 27, Uzbekistan 0.